The moment you've been waiting for is finally here. You've been asking, will I do it? Will I not? Oh, I'm doing it, and I'm going to break it all down in great detail. This is my complete plan for the 2025 offseason. We're going to cover everything: free agency, trades, the draft, and every need this team has. We'll go through all of it, step by step. If you want to skip to a specific section, check the timestamps below. Otherwise, buckle up because we've got a lot to talk about. Now, let's get straight into it. If I were in charge, John Spytek, Pete Carroll, or even Tom Brady, this is how I would set up the team to compete at the highest level. Step 1. Maxx Crosby's extension. The first move I would make is extending Maxx Crosby's contract. He's a homegrown talent, and keeping him is a top priority. Right now, the team has $93 million in cap space, but there are ways to free up even more by restructuring contracts, making trades, or cutting certain players. Crosby's current deal is 4 years, $94 million, with $23.5 million guaranteed and a max potential of $53 million in incentives. My plan? Extend his contract by 3 more years for $85 million. That means he gets $28 million per year, a $5 million per year raise on top. The contract would be fully guaranteed but backloaded. The breakdown could look like this: $15 million in year 1, $35 million in each of the next 2 years. This approach keeps Crosby happy while making sure the team has enough money to fill other roster needs. Since we have a young team and a flexible salary cap, we can this key: re-signings and free agent targets. We're building a team that can compete at the highest level, and that starts with making smart contract decisions. Instead of overpaying now and risking future setbacks, we need to be strategic. First, let's talk about priority re-signings. 1. Trevon Moehrig, S. 4 years, $50 million. Moehrig has been a full-time starter since we drafted him in 2021. He's been reliable and consistent, even if he hasn't quite reached an elite level yet. A fair deal would be $50 million over 4 years, with $18 million guaranteed. That's $12.5 million per year. Some have suggested a 5 or 6 year deal, but that seems risky for a safety. 4 years is the right balance. 2. Malcolm Kuntz, Edge. 2 years, $30 million. Kuntz has potential, but a shorter deal makes sense to see if he can take the next step. $15 million per year is fair, with the chance for a bigger payday later if he keeps improving. 3. Robert Spillane, LB. 3 years, $30 million. Spillane has been one of our most important defensive players. He's 29, so a 3-year deal worth $30 million with $10 million guaranteed keeps him locked in without overcommitting. Beyond these 3, there are a few players like Nate Hobbs, Divine Diablo, and Clavon Chason who could return if the price is right. If we can get them at discounted rates, they're worth keeping, but nothing is guaranteed. Free agency strategy. After extending Maxx Crosby and re-signing key players, we should have about $45 to $50 million left for free agency. Now, it's time to bring in new talent to strengthen both the offense and defense. I've identified 3 free agents we should target. Some are bigger names, others are underrated, but all could help us build a strong, well-rounded team. The first player I want to discuss is Chris Godwin. At 28 years old, he's still in his prime. He's been a productive receiver for years and could be a great fit for this offense. Compared to when we traded for Davante Adams, who was older at the time, Godwin could be a valuable piece at the right price. We'll go deeper into these targets next, but the goal is clear: make smart signings, maximize our cap space, and build a team ready to compete. Key free agent targets. To build a stronger team, we need to make smart, cost-effective moves in free agency. We don't need to overpay for the biggest names, just bring in the right pieces to complement what we already have. 1. Chris Godwin, WR, 3 years, $65 million, $21 million per year, making him the 19th highest-paid wide receiver in the league. A proven playmaker who can be a solid number. One option alongside Brock Bowers. Bigger names like T. Higgins and DK Metcalf would cost more in money and draft capital. Godwin is the smarter choice. At 28 years old, he's still in his prime and brings experience and reliability. 2. Dre Greenlaw, LB. 2 years, $13 million, 27 years old, and a strong coverage linebacker, exactly what we need. He's had some injury concerns, but when healthy, is one of the best in his role. Pairing him with Robert Spillane would create a versatile, well-balanced linebacker duo. At $6.5 million per year, this is a high-reward, low-risk signing. 3. Milton Williams, DT. 3 years, $35 million, 25 years old, and coming off his best season with 6 sacks. A disruptive interior defender with pass rush ability. Could thrive alongside Maxx Crosby and Christian Wilkins. At $35 million over 3 years, he's a cost-effective pass rusher to strengthen the defensive line. Building a smart, balanced roster. With these 3 signings, we're improving both offense and defense without breaking the bank. We've secured a playmaker at wide receiver, a reliable linebacker, and a rising star on the defensive line. But we're not done yet. The next major decision is the most important one, the quarterback position. What's the best move for 2025? Let's break it down. The quarterback plan. Finding the right quarterback is the most important decision for this team. A rookie quarterback might take time to develop, and some of the available veterans don't inspire much confidence. Russell Wilson is near the end of his career, Daniel Jones is unreliable, and Zach Wilson is a risky project. That's why the best option is Matthew Stafford. The team currently has one of the best chances to trade for him, competing with the New York Giants. If Stafford goes to the Giants, that could open up more opportunities for the team to draft a quarterback. The proposed Stafford trade offer. A third-round pick plus Aiden O'Connell may be an extra sixth-round pick if needed. Why it works for the Rams. They get a young quarterback to develop and a draft pick, while they retool their roster. If that's not enough, offer a second-round pick instead. Once Stafford is acquired, the plan is to extend him for 2 more years, pushing some of the guaranteed money into the future to keep the salary cap manageable. The NFL Draft Strategy. If Abdul Carter is available at the 6th overall pick, he should be the top choice. However, it's unlikely he'll still be there. If not, there are a few other solid options. Mason Graham, DL, a strong presence on the defensive line. Shadur Sanders, QB, if the team wants a young QB to develop. Tetairoa McMillan, WR, Arizona, a great weapon for the offense. Defensive backs, not the best move at number 6, since defensive backs can often be found later in the draft. Final thoughts. The team's strategy is simple. Get a proven quarterback, build around him with smart signings, and draft impact players. Stafford gives the team a real chance to compete now, while the draft will help build for the future. The big question now, who should the team take in the first round? Building the Raiders' future. Finding the right running back is another key decision. Some free agents aren't the best fit, and while a strong running back could be found later in the draft, Ashton Jeanty is an exciting option. If the team already has Matthew Stafford at quarterback, adding Jeanty at pick number 6 could be similar to getting a top offensive playmaker like Brock Bowers. That would create a strong offensive foundation with Stafford, Bowers, and Jeanty leading the way. The second and third round strategy. If the team still has a second-round pick, they should take a young quarterback to develop under Stafford. A great fit would be Jackson Dart, who has a similar play style and could learn from Stafford for a couple of seasons. If Dart isn't available, other solid options could be Jalen Milroe, Dylan Gabriel, or Quinn Ewers. In the third round, the focus should be cornerback, an area where the team needs depth. Pete Carroll and Patrick Graham have a track record of finding talented defensive backs in later rounds, so this would be the right time to add one. The updated roster. After these moves, the offense would look like this. Quarterback, Matthew Stafford, starter, Jackson Dart, developing. Running backs, Ashton Jeanty, Zamir White, Sincere McCormick. Wide receivers, Chris Godwin, Jacoby Myers, Trey Tucker. Tight ends, Brock Bowers, Michael Mayer. Offensive line, Miller and Glaze, tackles, JPJ, center, with 2 guard spots open for competition. The defense would also take shape. Defensive line, Milton Williams, Christian Wilkins, Maxx Crosby linebackers, Robert Spillane, Dre Greenlaw, question mark on Divine Diablo returning. Cornerbacks, Jordan Bennett, rookie cornerback, Nate Hobbs. Safeties, Trevon Morig, Isaiah Polamau. With Patrick Graham leading the defense, this group has top 10 potential. Can this team win? If Chip Kelly calls the right plays, this offense has the potential to jump from a 4-win team to at least 9 wins. The division is tough, but the Raiders have played competitive games even in losses. With a last-place schedule, next season should bring some easier matchups. The goal for Year 1 of Stafford is to reach the playoffs. In Year 2, with continued improvement and smart roster moves, the team could compete for the division. After that, the plan is for Jackson Dart, or another young quarterback, to take over and lead the team into the future. Reviewing fan offseason plans. Now, let's take a look at some Raiders offseason plans from fans. Mario's plan. Mario keeps it simple. Keep Maxx Crosby trade for Myles Garrett, possibly using Aiden O'Connell, get Matthew Stafford or Sam Darnold as a last resort. Draft the best player available. It's a solid approach. Trading for Myles Garrett would give the Raiders one of the best defensive lines in the league, but it would also limit spending in other areas. Donuts, Duncan's plan. Donuts, Duncan has a more detailed breakdown of cap space, contracts, and potential signings. Cap space projections. Assuming the 2025 NFL salary cap is $272.5 million, the Raiders would have $92.5 million available. Restructuring Maxx Crosby's contract could save an additional $2 million this season. Re-signing key players. Robert Spillane, 3 years, $28.5 million, $9.5 million per year. Trevon Morig, 6 years, $108 million, $18 million per year. Isaiah Polamau, 3 years, $18 million, $6 million per year. Sign exclusive rights-free agents like Matthew Butler, Jordan Meredith, Sam Webb for league minimum deals. This conservative approach ensures key defensive players stay, but Mihirig's $18 million per year contract is a big investment. Free agency strategy. After rookie signings and re-signings, around $25 million would be left for free agents. Donuts suggests 2 options. Sign one big free agent, like Will Freeze or Tevin Jenkins, both solid guards with injury histories. Use multiple smaller prove-it deals to add depth final thoughts. Both plans have good ideas. Mario's is straightforward, while Donuts Duncan dives deep into cap management. The key decision is whether to spend big on a single free agent or spread the money across multiple positions. Final thoughts on the offseason plan. With around $6.2 million left in cap space, there's an opportunity to add a veteran cornerback. One potential option is Paulson Adebo, who was set to take over as CB1 for the Saints before his injury. Given his situation, he might be available on a 1-year, $6 million deal, a potential steal for the Raiders. Draft strategy. The ideal draft strategy is to stay at pick number 6 and take the best player available, BPA. No trades in this scenario. Draft picks projection. Round 1, number 6, Mason Graham or McMillan. Round 2, number 37, Jalen Milroe, Shyheim Revel, Jahad Campbell, or Tyler Booker. Round 3, Nakugira 68, Darren Porter, Zacchaeus Williams, or Jaden Higgins. Round 3, Naut 73, Tate Ratchuk. Round 4, Wasno 7, Dion Neal Howard. Round 5, 144, Daman Martinez or Hartz Hunter. Round 6, 182, Tyler Cooper or Curtis War. Round 7, 214, Ricky White. Round 7 at 218, Karen Lacey. Round 7 at 224, Timothy McKay. Not all these names are well known, but the strategy is clear. Focus on BPA early, then add depth in later rounds. Alternate quarterback plan. If the Raiders want to draft Will Howard in the 3rd or 4th round instead of taking Jackson Dart in the 2nd, that's a reasonable approach too. The key is finding a developmental quarterback to learn under Matthew Stafford, if that trade happens. Final takeaways. This offseason plan keeps the team competitive while making smart long-term moves. The Matthew Stafford trade might seem bold, but it all depends on how the front office views Aidan O'Connell and what direction they want to take at quarterback. Now, with free agency approaching, more rumors will surface. The next few weeks will be crucial in shaping the Raiders' future.